to the stay strong, stay strong.
To the table. Ain't easy, I can tell.
I can tell.
Gotta stay strong, stay strong.
To the stay strong, stay strong.
Ain't easy, I can tell.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dr. Yawg's Clinic. I am Brandon Osborne, aka Control4Daze. Today I'm going to walk you through a Modern League match with the deck Black-Green Yawgmoth. The list was in the intro to the video. It should be flashing on the screen right now so you can see what I'm running. We're on Abrupt Decay. It's the newest card that I've been testing, a concession to Ledger Shredder, and I've actually been liking it a bit right now. I might play in a 1K this weekend. I might play in the challenges this weekend, depending. There's a good chance that you'll see me running Abrupt Decay somewhere in my 75. We are on the play, and we're going to take advantage of that and see how this goes. Follow along. Alright, opening 7 is a little messy when it comes to mana, a little clunky when it comes to cards. If we draw another green source, it's pretty good. As it stands, if we don't, we might be in a little bit of trouble. But I think just because of the potential, I think we'll keep it, and then we'll see how it goes. This hand's kind of borderline though. It's could be a little sketchy. Opponent, I don't know what they're playing. Excuse me. They haven't revealed any companion or anything like that. So we'll see. We'll see what they're doing. Very cordial opponent. They wish us good luck. I always appreciate that. I try to return the favor. Alright, Inspiring Vantage into Goblin Guide. And we have an Evo on the top. So we're going to jump block and move to our turn, and we can't cast anything, unfortunately, so we are going to pass the turn back. So we're playing against Burn right now. We have a couple of videos against Burn. More recently, I've actually been losing to Burn, which doesn't feel good. Yeah, you kind of expect that. If they don't reveal a land off the top with this Goblin Guy, we're probably in trouble. Yeah, we're in big trouble. We have our third Yawgmoth in hand, so we're getting punished for this keep right now. Just in this matchup, a misstep like that, like missing a land drop and not being able to curve out in any way, often it's just game over. You can't afford to be just taking hits from these creatures. You can't afford to be missing land drops, so I don't anticipate we're going to win this game, but we'll see if we can get the next two after this. Alright, we got a land, and it is a Dried Arbor. The always the worst land to possibly draw. So yeah, that doesn't feel great, but not much we can do right here. We're a little helpless. We are at 7 life, and they have 3 cards in hand. I am anticipating we are super dead this turn. That would be my guess. Sitting here with 3 Yawgmoths in hand. So if they have a 1 and a 2 mana burn spell, we'll just lose. Essentially. Okay, Swiss Spear. Another land. I don't think we're in a position to block. I think we just have to take this and hope to get lucky, but I don't think we're going to. Yeah, I'm just going to scoop. I don't think we can win from this point. We revealed our second Eldritch Evolution, so not going to cut it. Boarding in, we are going to bring in Obstinate Bailoff. We are going to bring in Hapatra. Abrupt Decay seems fine in this matchup. I'll bring in an Endurance and a Liberator. Those are maybes, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Boarding out, we're going to board out some number of Court of Calling, some number of Grist. Definitely boarding out Messenger. I actually like boarding out a Yawgmoth in this matchup as well. I think you just want to get creatures down early and just put bodies on the board. Often Yawgmoth is like a 2/4 protection from humans with no other text, which just from a rate perspective isn't great. So we're going to submit this and see how this goes. Hopefully this game turns out a little bit better than the last. Okay, I like our opening hand much better. So we are going to keep. We're not taking any damage off our lands, which is big right off the bat. So we like that. You know, we have removal if they have like an Eidolon. We have life gain. Endurance can block pretty much any creature that they play. So all in all, it looks pretty good. This Goblin Guide, see what it yields. All right, there's Dryad Arbor again. Good old Dryad Arbor, back for more. Okay, I think we're just gonna take this. This turn, depending on what we draw. All right, I think we'll go. All right, I need to be careful how I tap my mana here. Oh, no, so that kind of messes that up. So I could go Innkeeper into Hierarch, which pretty much guarantees that we can cast Yawgmoth next turn. Or I can just leave up Endurance, and then next turn go Innkeeper, Hierarch, and Dryad Arbor. I think I like that better. So we'll just do that. We'll play a little defensively here. Get down a chump blocker. They're gonna shock. Searing Blaze. We will add a mana. And we will cast our Endurance, and I'm not going to shuffle anything. I want to leave that in our graveyard just in case we pull into a Scavenging Ooze. So we're just going to leave that there. Alright, another Yawgmoth. We're going to lead Innkeeper. Dryad Arbor will gain a life. And then another Hierarch will gain another life. So we kind of almost negated what happened off that Searing Blaze right there. If we go into next turn with 4 mana, we'll have a Yawgmoth. If we don't, we have Abrupt Decay up. So I like our position. There was even, I think there was a consideration to attack there as well, but I'd like to be a little more cautious, I think. Lava Spike is fine. They're leaving up 2 mana, so they could have access to Skullcrack right now, which is always something that's on our radar. Drawing Baloth is good. I'd rather cast that when they can't Skullcrack. So we're gonna lead with an attack here. Then we'll see what they do. Swing for 4. Start to get some damage in. Then we'll play out our Yawgmoth. We'll see if they Skullcrack us here. See if a point of life gain is worth it to them. Okay, so there it is. It's what they were representing, so it makes sense. Then and we're going to pass the turn. We're not going to sacrifice any creatures. We don't want to lose any more life. And I think regardless, depending on what, probably regardless of what they hold up next turn, we'll probably just try to force in the Bailoff and see what happens. Like if we can get 4 or 5 life off of that, that's a pretty big game. So that's what we're going to shoot for. Okay, so they don't have Skullcrack up, so as long as we hit 4 mana, we are in really good shape. Okay, they're gonna bolt there, and just because we'd be taking a damage off the guide anyway, I'm just gonna do that there. Alright, so this is pretty good. Play out a land. I'm going to swing for 4, continue to pressure their life total. And I think there's a good chance they scoop here after seeing the Bailoff. They have 2 cards in hand. We're at 14. And I could play out the Yawgmoth. I don't know if it's worth it or not. Go down to 13. I think it's fine. I think we can afford to do so at this point. So I'll play that out. It's amazing how much differently this game would have turned out had they bolted my Hierarch or my Dryad Arbor. I would have been stuck on 3 mana for quite a while, and the only thing I would have had access to was Abrupt Decay. So it would have been a different game. Alright, so we're going to game 3. That game panned out the way that we wanted it to. Sideboard strategy. I don't think there's much I want to change. Maybe get rid of Grist. Grist is nice with Innkeeper because it feeds you 1/1s every turn, but it might not be good enough. I think we'll go up to 4 Endurance here. Let's see how this pans out. So opening hand, we're looking for chump blockers, and we're looking for mana that does not deal us damage. I think this is good enough. We'll give it a try. Our opponent's on a 6-card hand. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. This matchup is always really scary, and it always comes down to the wire. So we'll see. Here's a Goblin Guide. Alright, Yawgmoth on top. That's fine. And here, if they just attack into the birds, I think I'm just gonna chump block. I don't think we can afford to take another hit from the guide. So I'm gonna let them do that if they don't let us. Okay, so our life total's being pressured pretty hard already. Okay, so there's an Evo. I'm gonna go Walroots, and then the hope is next turn I can Evo into a Bailoff, or something like that. We'll see. Alright, there's an Eidolon. Eidolon's fine. Not too big a deal. So we're going to take 1, we're going to go down to 12. Life total is starting to get a little sketchy. To me, that play suggests that they do not have a Skullcrack, because I don't think they would have tapped out if they did. So we'll see. We'll see if my hypothesis is correct. So next turn what we can do is we can swing with the team or not. Okay, so Abrupt Decay on top. We're definitely blocking this Eidolon here. And I imagine, guessing they're probably going to bolt. I think they just bolt me. I think they made a land drop already. Okay, yeah, we're fine with that. That is a-okay. Okay, so there's the Abrupt Decay we knew about. Play out our land. We're going to go down to 9. And then here, we're going to decay one of the guides and Evo into Bailoff. So go back up to 13 here. We're not in the clear yet, but I think we're doing okay. Okay, Rift Bolt is fine. Lava Spike, we're down to 10, so we're essentially at 7 life here. Okay, 7 life. Trying to think. So if I go Bailoff with the swing, put them down to 10. We're at 7. So I don't think they can kill us next turn. So I think we can go for Geist, swing, put them down to 8. I think we need to get aggressive here, and then play out our Liberator. So 7, I think the best they can do is put us down to 1. So if that's the case, I mean, if they swing in with the guide, we should just win. Okay, so that's fine. So that's like net 1 life. We're okay with that. See what's on top here. Pulled a land off the top, actually a pretty good one too. So a card that I've gotten blown out by before, that there's the potential our opponent is playing, is Deflecting Palm. I don't think it's correct for them to bring it in this matchup, but I've definitely lost to it before. I don't think we have the luxury of not attacking though, so I think we need to do that. I'm gonna lead by sacking the Peat land here. Best draw is like a Young Wolf, that one's fine too. We'll see, no Deflecting Palm. Let's see what our opponent does. Alright, they didn't cast a Deflecting Palm, that's good. So I think we're in pretty good shape. We're going to cast the bird out. We have a chump blocker if we need it. We have the decay up if we need it. If they have an Eidolon, they can't cast it. If they have double Boros Charm, we're going to lose. They don't have... Alright, so I think they just lose. I don't think there's anything they can have from this point where they can actually win the game. Opponent is thinking, 4 cards in hand, 1 land in play. Pondering, contemplating, deciding. Not doing anything. Okay, so they have a land. I thought for a second they were juking us. Alright, so from here we're just gonna decay the guide. So they need 2 answers to our 2 creatures at this point, which I don't think they can have. And that is enough. Our opponent says good games, and they were good games. They were very close, as they usually are against Burn. Yeah, that matchup, a lot of it comes down to, do your lands deal you damage? Do you have chump blockers for the early game? If your opponent mulligans, it's a big deal. If you're on the play, it's a big deal. So like that conglomeration of things all together makes for Yawgmoth to be favored as opposed to unfavored. So there's quite a few conditions, but I think the matchup is really, really close. Initially, when I started playing this deck, I used to think Yawgmoth was very favored. I don't think as much so anymore, having had more reps and more experience in the matchup. I'd say it's probably closer to like 60-40 than 70-30, which is what I previously would say it was. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned something from watching this matchup for the 3rd or 4th time. I've enjoyed making the video. If you have enjoyed watching me, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, subscribe if you have not done so already. I greatly appreciate it if you do so. And also, if you want to support me further, I have a Patreon. It's linked in the description below. Feel free to head over there. And any and all contributions are greatly, greatly appreciated and will be put towards making better content, which I hope to continue to do. So, that being said, my name is Brandon Osborne. I am checking out for the day. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next time in Dr. Yawg's clinic. Until then, be well.